And today we have with us Saurabh Kaushal, who is the Managing Director for Flip-Flop InfoSec Labs, which is a startup initiative of NITTT Chandigarh. So Saurabh has a startup company in the domain of training in context of cyber security and cyber forensics. And he has conducted this training for different engineering colleges and polytechnics pan India, and also for police officials of at the national level also. So he has trained the police authorities at the central level in context of cyber security also. I welcome you, Saurabh. So today for this program we have 4 centers with us. One is Government Polytechnic Janra from Maharashtra. Then we have Government Women Polytechnic College from Jaipur. Then we have MM Engineering College, Department of Biotechnology is conducting over there, MMU Ambala. Then we have another center at Gandhi Engineering College, Odisha. And one center at CSVMB University from Tamil Nadu will be connecting tomorrow. Okay. So welcome to this session on digital literacy, role of ICT in higher and technical institutions.
So thank you very much, Amardev sir, and thanks for giving me the opportunity. So it becomes actually a dual responsibility on me because I'm part of computer science department of NITTT Chandigarh as well as heading the startup of NITTT only, which is the Flip-Flop InfoSec Lab. We are mainly into the providing the assistance to the technical teachers as well as the students in the area of cyber security and forensics. Amardev sir has already given my introduction that I'm personally involved in the training of the police officials as well as Central Forensic Laboratory people. We are also in the process of conducting pen test for the organization to find out the vulnerabilities into any of a particular network. So this session will be more of a kind of non-technical session for me because my personal domain is in the cyber security and technical, right? So this is a kind of non-technical session. So let's see how things will work today. And I want this session to be as interactive as possible. And this goes for all the remote centers as well as the participants at NITTT Chandigarh. Because I don't want to feel like a politician, right? Only I'm speaking, no one is responding from the other side. So first of all, let's start our topic, which is on digital literacy and ICT in higher and technical education institutions. So what do we mean by the literacy, first of all? Input from all the remote centers as well as the participants from NITTT Chandigarh is more than welcome, because I want this session to be interactive. Otherwise, this will be a really boring session because I will be discussing more about the Government of India schemes, what were the loopholes and things. So what do we understand by the term literacy, first of all? Any remote center wants to answer, what do we mean by literacy? Literacy in the traditional means, it was more kind of the person who has the ability to read and write. The person who has the ability to read and write, that was called as a literate person. But nowadays, literacy has taken up a new meaning. With the coming of digital India schemes and everything, right? The government is now promoting that go cashless. Can you expect a rickshaw puller or the person who is who's doing some odd jobs, right? कोई घर पे आपके काम कर रहा है, कुछ कर रहा है. Can you expect that person to be literate, first of all? And can those people cope up with the digital India initiatives of the Government of India? It's really difficult. So nowadays, literacy has taken up a new meaning. The person who has the ability to read and write as well as to perform arithmetic calculation, but he should have the knowledge of these computer systems, that how these PCs are working. Those persons are now called as literate. Traditionally, theek tha, that we used to say that one who is good with, one who can read and who can write his name and everything, till class 4th, 5th, that was a literate person. But nowadays, it has taken altogether a new meaning. And with the coming of the smartphones, literacy rate is going on to some other level. So traditionally, we have already discussed, right? The literacy and the level of education are the basic indicators of the development achieved by a society. Nowadays, we cannot expect our society to be developed in case if those people are good with the performing the online transactions. everyone I can guarantee at the participants at remote center as well as the participant in NITA Chandigarh, they all are carrying an Android phone in their pocket. So we people are among the category of the literate people. That doesn't mean that if in case you are carrying a smartphone, you become a literate. That's not true actually. But nowadays, this is being referred to as a definition of literate. The one who is well versed with the knowledge of your reading, listening, and writing skills, as well as who can use the computers and the mobile phones. That person is referred to as a literate. अगर कोई और आ जाए हमारे पास दिल से गवार है जी, कंप्यूटर तो चलाना आता नहीं है इसे, ऐसे कहते हैं. That's literacy for you. And the high level of education and literacy leads to the greater awareness among the people and also contributes in the improvement of economic and the social conditions. Now, how economic? Since the government of India is promoting the Digital India initiatives, right, that go cashless, perform cashless transactions and everything, that's how it will be, impacting the economic conditions of the society. That every transaction which you perform should be through your debit cards or your credit cards. That's related to literacy in present world. Not in the traditional world. Not pre-independence के टाइम पे हम कह सकते थे जिसको लिखना पढ़ना आता था वो लिटरेट था, बट आज के डेट पे जिसको लिखना पढ़ना आता है वो लिटरेट नहीं माना जाएगा. And let's have a look at the recent trends in India about the literacy rates. In a country like India, literacy is the main foundation of social and economic growth, as we have already discussed. Once India achieved its independence in the year 1947, the literacy rate in India was only 12%. There were only 12% people who had the ability to read and write, not to use the technology, but only 12% people were those who has the ability to read and write at that time, once India achieved the independence. But now, according to the census of 2011, the literacy rate in India, we have seen a tremendous rise. It's around 74.04%. A huge rise. Can you see, right? In around 60-70 years, from 12%, we have raised our literacy rates to 74.04%. But the situation still is not good. Why? Because what is the population of our country? Around 130 crores, right? And counting. Don't forget, right? And counting. Every second a new baby is born in India. Every second. If you will get a chance to visit AIIMS, वैसे ना जाना पड़े किसी को, right? But in case कभी आप AIIMS के बाहर से जाते हैं, वो दिखाते हैं कि एक सेकंड में यहाँ पे हमारा जैसे जैसे सेकंड चलते रहते हैं हमारे पॉपुलेशन इंक्रीज रहती है. और सिर्फ एम्स का डेटा है. अगर पैन इंडिया की बात करें, the situation is worse actually. So still we have around 25.96% of population in the country who are not considered as literate, meaning those who cannot even read and write their names. And the condition is more worse in the rural areas. So 25% of 130 crores and counting, right? It's a huge number. So we still have the majority of our population in the rural areas are still not literate. So this is the worrisome part. And the female literacy rate is comparatively lower as compared to the male literacy rate. Male literacy rate, according to the census of 2011, it's around more than 80%, whereas in female it is around 65.46%. Because in the rural areas, people don't allow their daughters to go and study. They're not willing to send their students or to their wards to to the outer areas for the higher education. And the only state in the Kerala in India is Kerala, who has the 100% literacy rate. And Kerala has done some remarkable work. I'll just explain it to you. Just hang in with me till a couple of slides. I have made a special slide for the case of Kerala. Those guys have done a tremendous work. And according to the latest data, after Kerala, it is followed by the Goa, Tripura, Mizoram, Himachal Pradesh, and Maharashtra. Sikkim, I think Chandigarh is on the 10th number. 9th is we have Delhi, and on 10th number we have Chandigarh. And the Bihar is the state which is having the lowest of the literacy rates. So we can imagine the situation, right? That we say that the northeast condition of our, northeast part of our country is not, that safe. But you can have a look at Mizoram, right? Despite being the part of the northeastern state, this is again, they are among the top positions in the literacy rates in the country. So then we have a look at the condition of Punjab, Haryana, Maharashtra. These all are the big states, right? And the situation is still not good here. So these are just the excuses that, that being a bigger state, Maharashtra is at the top level, they have the high income, right? But still the literacy rate is comparatively lower. Still better than other states, but have a look at the Mizoram, right? Jahan pahunchna, it's really difficult. And the right to education, if we particularly talk about how the Constitution of India guards the right to education to every student here in the country, every born citizen of India, they are granted with certain fundamental rights. And Article 21A of the Indian Constitution is a right to education for all, which clearly states the state shall provide, the state here means the country, shall provide free and compulsory education to all children of the age of 6 to 14 years in such a manner as the state may by law determine. These are the exact wordings you will find in the Article 21A written in the Indian Constitution. And this is a fundamental right of every citizen. This provision was added in the Indian Constitution by the 86th Amendment, which took place in the year 2002. This only covers the elementary education, not the higher and the professional or the technical education. Jitne bhi hamare students hain, they have the fundamental right. They have the fundamental right that education for student from age group of 6 to 14 years is compulsory, elementary education. That's how we will increase the status of the literacy rates. But the condition is really worrisome. Why I'm telling you this thing? Because only 4% of the population in the country, they are actually at the level of graduates. Others are even below that. Though they have the ability to read and write, jisko likhna padhna aage, that is a literate, right? But the people who are going there and pursuing their graduation, the number is very low, around 4%. I'll just show you the stats. Before this amendment, before the 86th Amendment of the Indian Constitution, there was a compulsory provision under the DPSPs. DPSPs are the directive principles of the state policy. So there was an Article 45 under Part 4, which clearly said that free and compulsory education should be provided to all the children. But being a DPSP, DPSPs are more kind of guidelines to the government for the working. So that was more kind of like a guideline. So as that was a guideline, not a fundamental right, so government or the court, judiciary cannot intervene into that. But since now they have made it as a law after the 86th Amendment, they have made it as a fundamental right. In case the fundamental rights of any citizen gets violated, they have the complete liberty to move directly to the Supreme Court. You need not to approach to the lower court, district court, or even to the High Court. You can directly move on to the Supreme Court of India. In case in case your any of the fundamental right gets violated. So earlier we had the provision, but that was kind of guideline to the government that in case, you know, in case any one of the student wants to pursue their education, they can pursue, but that was not a mandatory, right? That was just a guidelines. But now since they have made it as a fundamental right of every citizen of the country, so now this is under the scope of judicial intervention. So any student who feels like from the age of 6 to 14 years, he feels like he's been forcibly, you know, said that you are not supposed to work, you are actually supposed to work, you are not allowed to go to the school, that person or that student, that children, that child can directly move to the Supreme Court of India because it's his fundamental right, which is provided to him by the Constitution of the country. He can directly move to the Supreme Court. But again, at that tender age, right, those kids don't have that much amount of awareness, right? But on their behalf, if you want to fight for their rights, you can file a PIL, that is public interest litigation. So now we have RTE Act, Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Act 2009. In pursuance of the Article 21A, the Government of India came with another act in year 2009 under the leadership of Dr. Manmohan Singh. They said, you know, they specified certain norms, right? That this should be the people to teacher ratio, what should be the building and infrastructure of the, you know, school, what will be the working hours of the school, what will be the working hour of the teachers, right? So they made it compulsory that these are the norms which every school has to follow for providing the right of children to free and compulsory education. They made it as a law that this infrastructure is the basic need which you people should have. But before that, they made education as a fundamental duty. How many fundamental duty we have? We had 10 fundamental duties, but after the 86th constitutional amendment, जो भी हमने discuss किया, actually the fundamental duties were included in the Constitution of India in 1976 after the Saurabh Singh Committee report, 42nd amendment. So the Saurabh Singh, once the nation was going through the national emergency, right? So at that time, government decided that, that as a citizen of the country, we are enjoying the fundamental rights, but we should have some fundamental duties as well. So we should have certain fundamental duties. So they made a report, and after the 42nd constitutional amendment in 1976, they added a different part 4A, which had your 10 fundamental duties. But after the 86th amendment, what they did, they added a new fundamental duty, which says who is a parent or a guardian to provide opportunities for education to his or her, to his child, or as the case may be, between the age of 6 to 14 years. This is a language which is written in the Constitution of India. So it becomes a responsibility as well, to send our children, our wards to the schools, right? They have their fundamental right as elementary education. That is must actually, and it's our fundamental duty according to Article 51A. Article 51A is the separate column for the fundamental duties, and this particular amendment, after this 82nd amendment, they added a new clause, the clause which I have already read for you, Article 51A, clause number K. Earlier we had 10 fundamental duties, A to J, and then a new clause was added, which is Article 51A, clause K. Okay. Now the worrisome area. Despite we have made it as a fundamental right, fundamental duty of every citizen, but still the condition is, really challenging in our country, and it's a really worrisome area. Though, no doubt, we have seen a significant rise, right? Our level has gone from the 12% to the 74% around, right? 74 or 76%. But still, according to the Registrar General and Census Commissioner of India, only 4.5% of the population in the country is educated up to the level of a graduate or above. Only 4.5%. So you can see that it's really challenging. पूरी country में कितनी population है? We are around 130 crores and counting, right? और graduated कितने हैं? सिर्फ 4.5%. Literate होना is a different thing. Yes, you can read and write your name, but it doesn't make you a graduate. A really worrisome area for the country and for the society as well, and for the teachers like us. Now, if we discuss about the Indian education system, that is mainly divided into the primary, secondary, and the tertiary education. But our focus will be more on the tertiary education. I don't want to, drag you people into the primary and the secondary. In case if I wanted, I would have, discussed more about the midday meal schemes and Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, but that would be, too trivial for the tertiary education, because that's not our concern as of now, because we people are more into the higher education. First of all, our higher education system is actually a very large and very complex. We have around 700 university as per the data provided by the UGC, University Grants Commission, and more than 35,000 colleges are affiliated to all these universities, and 20 million students every year take admission into the colleges. 20 million, around 2 crore students every year they are taking the admission. Every year. And more than 85% of these 2 crore students are enrolled in the bachelor degree programs, with majority enrolling into the 3-year degree courses like your BA, BSc, and BCom and things like that. And only 1/6 of 2 crores is around 33 lakhs, 33 to 35 lakh students. Around 33 to 35 lakh students, they take admissions in the engineering and the technical degrees. And it would be really surprising and interesting to know for you people is that the number of engineering graduates produced by our country is equal to the whole population of Singapore. Every year we are producing more than 35 lakh engineers, and the whole population of Singapore is around 35 lakhs. And then comes the report of a NASSCOM which says that Indian IT firms rejects 90% of the college graduates and the 75% of the engineers who apply for the jobs. This is a tertiary education system. Once you have enrolled with your degree program, once you have completed your degree program, there's no guarantee that you will have finding a good job. There's no guarantee you'll end up finding a good job. 90%, 2 crores, right? Baki jitne bache, kitne bache? Around 1 crore 65 lakh students, right? उनमें से भी 90% को बोलते हैं that you are not employable. And NASSCOM says 75% of the engineering graduates are not employable. Graduates कितने जा रहे हैं पूरे country में? 4.5%. So the situation is really worrisome. And these all are the facts, which I have taken from the Government of India website. Few facts I have taken from the Yojana magazine. It is a monthly magazine published by the Government of India. And few facts I have taken from the Kurukshetra. That is again a government magazine. So you cannot even question to these facts. Being a civil services aspirant, I know all these things, that's why. And there was a really interesting article which was published on 23rd November 2016, just very recent, and they say that only 2.3% of our Indian graduates have undergone a formal skill development training. Only 2.3%. I've kept a whole article with me. What I feel that in India we have over-academized the education system. We are mainly into the grades and getting the good CGPA, right? Can we people guarantee that getting a good grades and good CGPA will actually lead to that the person is actually qualified for a certain kind of a job? Yes or no? Only 2.3% of our Indian technical graduates, I'm particularly talking about technical graduates, they have only undergone the formal skill development training. 35 लाख से 2% कर लो जी, कितना हुआ? बाकी कहाँ गए? जॉब नहीं मिलता जी. क्यों नहीं मिलता? NASSCOM की रिपोर्ट कहती है कि वो कंपनीज they are saying that you don't have the the skills, required skills. Grades देखें तो we have a very good grades, right? A plus, right? 9-pointer CGPA, right? But still they are without jobs. Why? Because we are not stressing onto the skill development part. In Chandigarh, few days back we were hiring, and a very interesting situation kind of came in front of me. I recently hired one of two graduates, and they were saying that, sir, they were the BTech graduates, and they were saying that, sir, if you'll even provide us 5,000 rupees, we are ready and we are willing to work in your startup. Underemployment, कुछ भी कह सकते हैं. And recently I've hired a driver for myself. उनका minimum charges थे, they were saying that we will charge minimum 15,000 rupees. A driver is getting around 15,000 rupees, and if you particularly talk about the engineering graduates, they are saying that we are ready and we are willing to work with your organization at max of 5,000 rupees. These are the hard facts of the society. And as a teacher, this is not a good point for us, because at the end of the day, उनको सिखा बुझा के तो हम ही ने भेजा ना पीछे से. And if we have a look at the international level, around 75% of the graduates, they are in Germany. They have undergone this formal skill development training. 52% in USA, 80% in Japan, and 96% in South Korea. कितना सा साउथ कोरिया? छोटा सा. 96%. What I feel, there is a huge skill deficit in our country. Why? Because this is the same country where we have IITs and IIMs. This is the same country where we have IITs and IIMs, and the graduates from the IITs and IIMs are going and leading the world, right? Have a look at the example of the Sundar Pichai, right? Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft and Google. They all are IITians, right? So this is the same country where the NASSCOM report is saying 75% of the graduates are not employable. It's the same country where our graduates are actually leading the top MNCs. So we have a huge skill deficit in our country, and we have a huge unexplored potential at the bottom. एक तो टारगेट हमारा वो हो गया जो IIT से NIT से जिसने पास आउट किए, and they got the good jobs. जो lower ranking वाले रह गए, उनका potential we didn't actually explore. ऐसा तो नहीं है ना कि उन्होंने भी 4 साल में पेपर तो क्लियर किया. ऐसा तो नहीं है, बिल्कुल लिटरेट तो है नहीं, वो इलिटरेट तो नहीं है ना कि लिख पढ़ नहीं सकते. 4 साल कुछ सीखा भी है उन्होंने, but still they are not employable. Why? Because we as the teachers, we didn't explore their potential. We made them ran for the tutes, for the classes, getting the good grades, that's it. So the problem don't actually lies with the students, problem actually lies with us, with the system and the teachers. Even the system, yes. Let's not blame only the teachers, right? Amardev sir might get angry on me, right? Saurabh, तुम openly बोल रहे हो teachers को, हैं? Actually, being the teacher, it becomes our responsibility. Actually, what I feel is, this is not the demand side logic, but a supply side logic. Economics की terms में समझते हैं. As a teacher, you started supplying the education, right? आपने कुछ education supply किया, आपने Java सिखाया. Let's say example ले रहे हैं, right? आपने Java सिखाया, C++ सिखाया, आज के डेट में Android सिखाया. So eventually, the jobs were created only on Java, PHP, and C++, right? But what about if we talk about neural networks? What if we talk about cybersecurity? What if we talk about big data, artificial intelligence? वो हमने supply नहीं किया. Since we never supplied that education to the system, तो results कहाँ से आएंगे? And these all are the highest paying jobs nowadays. Any comments on that?
We just had a discussion that the demand is like the R&D is coming from the industry to the teachers, not from the teachers.
Not from the teachers to the industry, absolutely.
But then there is this another fact which is very contradictory to it, that the government has a very important role to play, right? In a state where you have, in a district, you have 11 universities who are offering courses. 11 universities, I'll repeat that, in one single district. But you don't have any kind of employment opportunities in that same district. So what you're doing, you're producing a lot of quantity.
Absolutely, we are producing a lot of quantity, but at the same time, we don't know how to
consume
consume them, right? And then we say कि भैया बाहर चले जाओ. पंजाब का तो ट्रेंड ही यही है. कनाडा गए सी ये, right? And recently, there was news. Any questions from the remote centers? And recently, it was in the news that a Sikh was appointed as a governor in the Canada, right? And now, what I feel, ये वो Canadians का दिल है कि उन्होंने वहाँ पे एक Sikh को they have made it as a governor. और यहाँ पे कोई आ जाए, कोई गोरा या काला आ जाए, racist remark शुरू हो जाएंगे कि काले नु की वोट दवा मैं था, right or wrong? That would be more kind of racist remark. वो उन लोगों की दिल है, but हमारे दिल नहीं है वैसे. At some times, yes, they are. वो जज्बाती नहीं होना उस चीज को, दिल पे नहीं लेके जाना. But this is the hard fact, actually. So the guidelines given by the government of India, now we'll move on to the digital literacy part, right? First of all, I think we have already covered about the literacy. What do you know literacy? And what is the modern and the traditional definition of literacy? What were the scenarios during independence and after 70, around so much years after independence, we have around 74%. But still, the situation is really challenging because we have only 4.5% graduates in the country, and only 2.4 or 5% graduates have actually undergone the formal skill development part. So now the government, as we keep on saying, and we keep on blaming the government is not doing the things. Government is actually trying and putting so much of efforts. First of all, government is setting up the new educational institution. Then you might again question, right? It's what will happen by opening up the new educational institutions, because we are not actually able to give the job opportunities to the youth of the country. The answer to that would be, because still there is a huge, around 25.96% of the population in the country, those who are not even graduated, right? Or those who are not even literate. So the government, so setting up the new institutions is actually mandatory for the government of India. That is the need of the hour. In case we'll have the more educational institutions, then only we can say, yes, we have India has the 100% literacy rate. Abhi wo situation nahi hai hamari country mein. And the use of technology in higher education, and thanks to this wonderful, setup, ICT, information communication technology. I'm sitting in Chandigarh, right, talking to you people. My voice and my video is being received by, across the country. So we have so many options available with us for the learning. Not only the students, but as the teachers, right? The government of India is promoting the faculty development programs. Why? If we particularly talk about NITA Chandigarh was established in the year 1967. At that time, the government of India had the vision to train the technical teachers. Because once the technical teachers are trained, then only you can actually go ahead and further teach the masses. And thanks to ICT, right? In case if you are those people who are sitting in the far places of the country, let's say in Odisha, right? One engineering college from Odisha has joined, right? Government college? Gandhi Engineering College from Odisha, they have joined through this ICT, and they are able to receive my voice and my video. While sitting in Chandigarh, I can share my thoughts with them. First of all, this should be really clear in your mind that I'm not here to kuch gyan nahi main dene aaya hu aapko. It's just the what I have observed, I'm actually sharing with you people. That's it. And the development of the vocational education and the skill development. The government of India nowadays is doing so much for the skill development part. And government has now actually came up with the Startup India, Stand Up India, and all these schemes. Can you please answer me that why government is coming with all the schemes? Absolutely. And there's another hard fact that I was reading in Yojana magazine that in the year 2022, government will have no jobs to to give to the students, the graduates who will be graduating at that time. So that's why they are promoting the Startup India and the Stand Up India, that you become the entrepreneurs, you actually go ahead and create the jobs for the others, rather than becoming a job. Don't be a job seeker, but be a job creator. That's why government has came up with the Startup India, Stand Up India. Why all these initiatives are being taken up? अभी ऐसा तो नहीं है ना कि कल से हम किसी को जॉब नहीं दे सकते, उसे बोलते हैं आप कल से जॉब पे मत आइएगा, आप अपना खुद का कुछ शुरू कर लें. सो दिस इज समथिंग जो हमें पहले ही 10 ईयर से 10 साल पहले से उसकी प्लानिंग करनी शुरू करती है. Once we are prepared for all that thing, then only we can say that we have actually received the desired results. Otherwise demonetization जैसा हो जाएगा जी, बैंक के बाहर ही खड़े हैं सारे. डिमोनेटाइजेशन हो गया, 8 तारीख को डिमोनेटाइजेशन हो गया, 9 तारीख को जेब में कैश नहीं है, अभी क्या करें, बैंक चलते हैं, एटीएम्स बंद है. बताया नहीं गया ना पहले, यार बता भी नहीं सकते थे, बताते तो फिर क्या ही हो जाता, आप जानते हैं ना. थैंक्स टू आवर इंडियन सिस्टम सब चलता है यहाँ पे. एंड गवर्नमेंट इज ऑल्सो डूइंग द इंटरनेशनल कोलैबोरेशन इन द फील्ड ऑफ एजुकेशन. International collaboration means that we are tying up with the other organizations or the other technical university outside India. Now coming to your favorite topic of digital literacy. Now what do we mean by digital literacy now? As of now, we have only discussed about the literacy part, Government of India initiatives and schemes, what they are. We'll be discussing the schemes in the later slides. So what is digital literacy basically? It is actually the part of Digital India initiative by the Government of India, which aims to transform India into a digitally empowered society and knowledge economy. Our Prime Minister, right, Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, he keeps on saying that we have, majority of the population in our country is under the age of 25 to 35, right? 26 to 35 around, right? So we have a huge, manpower. We have a manpower, but they are not trained. उनको कोई स्किल्स हमने प्रोवाइड नहीं किया है। हमारे पास बल्क बहुत है, पर वो जो बल्क है वो हमारा अभी के लिए अनयूटिलाइज है और एक तरह का वेस्टेड है। Why? Because हमने कोई स्किल नहीं दिया उन्हें। So with the Digital India initiative, government actually promotes and actually wants to transform India into a digitally empowered and a knowledge economy. If I particularly talk about the medical education, right, that is still far better as compared to the the engineering education or the technical education. Why? Because in the medical, first of all, you have your classes in the morning, then in the second half you have to go and perform your practicals. Every day you have to work, you have to study and you have to work as well. And they are around 4 to 5 years they take for the medical graduation to be completed. And once a student is graduated, once he is allowed to use a doctor degree in front of his name, he actually has certain kind of skills with him. I'm not saying that he will be equivalent to a graduate who has graduated from the AIMS, but he will certainly have some skills. But if we particularly talk about the technical education, IIT का जो हाल है और जो low ranking colleges है, कोई comparison ही नहीं है। Grades है, skills नहीं है। So we need people who have good skills. Grades कम भी है तो चलेगा। So digital literacy is the ability of the individual and communities to understand and use digital technology for the meaningful actions within life situations. Within life situations. One really interesting program is going on by the government of India, which is digital literacy, National Digital Literacy Mission, NDLM, or Digital Saksharta Abhiyan, which is Disha. Hindi name is Disha and the English name is NDLM. This scheme has been formulated to impart, the training to around 52.5 lakh persons, including the, the workers of Anganwadi and Asha. And the scheme will be implemented throughout the country in all the states and UTs. The vision of this NDLM scheme is to literate the citizens who don't have the knowledge of IT. जो इससे मैंने भी आपको बात कहा, राइट? आजकल तो सभी खैर मोबाइल चलाना तो सीख ही गए हैं, but there are some certain people, right? If we particularly talk about let's say about our grandparents, right? I can guarantee they cannot, use the mobile phone or your PCs, or can they? Yes or no? No, right? They cannot use all the digital mechanisms, right? So the main aim is to train such people, let's say rickshaw pullers, tea sellers, and people like those who don't have the IT knowledge. So the main motive is to provide them with certain kind of IT knowledge. This will enable them to actively and effectively participate in the democratic and the developmental process and enhance their livelihoods. Once you have the good knowledge, right, you will be able to, perform the online transactions. You will be able to use the apps, let's say the Narendra Modi app, right, where you can give your suggestions and opinions. Now the implementation of the NDLM is taking place through the NGOs, industries, government authorized centers, and the CSCs, Common Services Center. And they are working at the, at a very lower level, at the Gram Panchayat level, at the block level, at the district of each state, and at the union territories level. So they are starting to work from the Gram Panchayat level. And majority of our population still lives in the villages. So they are working on at the Gram Panchayat level as well. This is a very good initiative by the government of India. And now who will monitor all these things, right? You have made a scheme, but now the monitoring has to be done, right? So the monitoring at the district level will be done by the district magistrate or the DC, along with the official of the concerned department, as well as the NGO. ये जो भी NGO के साथ आप मिलके कर रहे हैं, industry के साथ मिलके कर रहे हैं. And at the state level, that will be headed by the principal secretary. Principal secretary वो भी especially आपके जो IT field के होंगे, along with the social welfare organizations. At the central level, this will be under the chairmanship of the secretary of the DEIT, Department of Electronics and Information Technology. And at the central level, these people will have the ability to intervene into the ongoing policies. In case if they feel like changing something in the policy, they can change. Now, who can be a training partner for the NDLM, or how you can become a training partner for NDLM? In case your university, your engineering college wants to become a training partner for NDLM, first of all, your organization should be registered in country. India में होनी चाहिए, आपके पास एक पैन कार्ड होना चाहिए, आपके पिछले 3 सालों के जो अकाउंट्स है वो ऑडिटेड होने चाहिए बाय ए CA, और जो भी आप फील्ड में आप एजुकेशन प्रोवाइड करना चाहते हैं उसका एक प्रॉपर डॉक्यूमेंट बनाकर वो उनकी साइट के ऊपर भी अवेलेबल है. फॉर मोर इन्फॉर्मेशन यू कैन विजिट दिस www.ndlm.in. You can visit this site and you will be you'll actually find a page that how you can apply for the for becoming the training partner of the NDLM. I think yes. So you need to have a organization, no matter private, government, NGO, or social welfare society, anything, right? You can become a part of this, but you should have a PAN card, as well as your accounts should be audited from a CA past 3 years. I think yes. And again, a very good initiative by the government is ICT Academy. Are you people aware of this ICT Academy? These people are working in the same fashion as NITA Chandigarh is working. This is the initiative by the government of India in collaboration with the state governments and the industries. These ICT Academy is headquartered in your Chennai, and this was recently endorsed by the Niti Aayog as well. As we all know that the Planning Commission is now abolished, right? So we have the Niti Aayog now from year 2014 onwards. So नीति आयोग ने भी ICT Academy को कहा है कि आप जितने भी educational institutions हैं, these people should start using the this ICT Academy. And this is a non-profit organization, basically the first of its kind, which is running in a public and a private partnership model that endeavors to train the higher education teachers and students, thereby increasing on developing the next generation teachers and industry ready students. Because a government or industry का collaboration है, so students actually get a good interaction with what are the recent trends in the industry. This is again a very good initiative by the government of India. ICT Academy was started to meet the skills requirement of the industry and generate more employment, especially in the Tier 2 and Tier 3 towns. किनके लिए है? Not let's say for the people living in Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai, or for your Mumbai, right? Basically for the Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. And they have the 7 pillars on which they are actually working really hard. First is the faculty development programs. Like as of now, we are conducting FDP. Then the another thing is student skill development, skill development, entrepreneurship development, youth empowerment, industry and institute interaction, digital empowerment and research, and publications. So these are the 7 focus pillars by the ICT Academy. So now let's don't do this thing that next time कहीं मन में आए कि हम NITA Chandigarh में जाके course attend नहीं करते, why not we go ahead and connect with the ICT Academy, because वो भी government का है. NITA Chandigarh भी is again a central government institution, right? Skill development पे ICT Academy भी work कर रहा है, skill development part पे we people are also working. Then the technology enabled learning. Have you heard about the NME ICT program? NME ICT? कभी नहीं सुना? National Mission on Education through Information and Communication Technology. This was started in the year 2009 by the government of India. NME ICT has been this is basically, NME ICT is for the, this is project started by the MHRD. This is actually a complete mission. Under NME ICT, they have two main components. First main component is providing connectivity along with the provision for access devices to institutions and learners. Under this NME ICT project, they have distributed the Akash tablets, which have been, made by the IIT Bombay and the DataVind. I think we at NITI Chandigarh also we have received the Akash tablets.
But I am against that policy.
So you are against that policy? As well as the content generation is again, let's not जज्बाती नहीं होते इस चीजों पे, right? The government की schemes है वो चलने देते हैं. And then we have the content generation part.
Content generation, for example, NPTEL is National Portal on Technology and Learning. So NPTEL के जितने lectures हैं under NME, they are converting it from English to Hindi. So in the same way, you can also be a part of it if you are in the right mode, right?
Absolutely, the invitation is always open. And MHRD under its NME ICT program has assigned work to UGC to standardize the textbook material and develop e-content for the 77 subjects at postgraduate level. Basically at your MA, MSc and your MCOM level. So government is saying, MHRD has given the instructions कि आपको क्या करना है, because every university is following a different textbook. So they have said that you first of all standardize the textbook कि आपको क्या क्या एक textbook में चाहिए. उस according you draft a textbook and that should be available online. ताकि आपके books buy करने का भी खर्चा बचेगा. You need not to buy the books in future. Read online everything. And you can download that material as well for free of cost. For more information, you can visit this, website. I've already given the links. Under NME ICT project, they have a SAKSHAT, SAKSHAT repository, which basically has the three elements. First element is of e-content repository, such as NPTEL, जो भी Amardev sir has discussed, and then e-Pathshala. E-Pathshala is the place where you can go ahead and download all the books for free of cost, starting from the NCERT level. NCERT की books भी आपकी e-Pathshala के ऊपर available है. And then we have MOOCs. What is MOOCs? Massive open online courses, which includes IIT Bombay X and NPTEL. I'll just discuss about IIT Bombay X and NPTEL in great depth. Just hang on with me till a couple of slides. And the another initiative is the software and application development. So there are three main initiatives. One is e-content repository, MOOCs, and software and application development, such as FOSSEE, FOSSEE. Free and open source software in education. And A-View, of course. I'll just tell you what do we mean by A-View. These are the certain applications which have been developed by the IIT Bombay. Now, if we particularly talk about the NPTEL program, NPTEL is National Program on Technology Enhanced Learning, which is again an initiative by the 7 IITs, major 7 IITs, IIT Bombay, Delhi, Guwahati, Kanpur, Kharagpur, Madras, and Roorkee, along with the Indian Institute of Science, for creating course contents in engineering and science fields actually. So what do we mean by this? NPTEL, they have, there are large number of students because we have a very big population in our country, and every student cannot enter into the IITs, right or wrong? So government came up with the idea that since we have the such a good faculty, such a good professors at IITs and IIMs, right? So what they decided, we will create the video lectures. We will create the video lectures and we will distribute it for free of cost to all the students, or that they will be available at the official website of the NPTEL, from where any student who is willing to learn can go ahead and see what are the courses which are running, right? And they can learn about the different technologies from a professor from the IIT Bombay. I think this is being taken by the Dr. Kanan Mudgale sir, right? MOOCs, right? Dr. Kanan Mudgale, we had the privilege to meet him once and we had a great interaction with him. And these all lectures can be freely downloaded in MPV4 and FLV format. In case if anyone student wants to download it, they are free to do so. If you want, I can show you the website. This is nptl.ac.in. Do we have a problem in our internet connection? There seems to be some issue with the, I think, with the website or with the internet connection. So coming back to this, नहीं ऐसा कुछ इशू नहीं आता, साइट नहीं ओपन हो रहा. Not an issue. If in case any one of you wants to go and refer to the NPTEL website, the link is already provided in my presentation.
If I have any doubt, can call you.
Yes, definitely, anytime. And then another initiative is on the spoken tutorials. SEAM initiative. Different, what they have done is they're promoting the open source, the use of open source they are promoting. Are you aware about the spoken tutorials project by the IIT Bombay? This is again, a very good initiative. Trainings are imparted to the students and then they conduct an online test. In case the students clear the test, what they can do is they are awarded with the certificates. First of all, they will train you, and then what will happen is you give online test and they will give you a certification that yes, from the IIT Bombay, from the spoken tutorials team. If we have a look at the spoken tutorials, in case that works. SpokenTagTutorials.org. So this is the website of the spoken tutorials. In case if we particularly look for a course, let's say if we want, let's use Linux. If we have a look at Linux, and you can listen to the course in your own language as well. In case some of the students are not familiar with the they are not good with English, and in case they want to learn the course in their own language, they can. Let's say we choose Hindi. And there you go. The list is long. Let's say in case if I run.
उबंटू डेस्कटॉप के इस स्पोकन ट्यूटोरियल में आपका स्वागत है। इस ट्यूटोरियल का इस्तेमाल करके हम ग्नोम परिवेश पर उबंटू डेस्कटॉप से परिचित होंगे। इसके लिए मैं उबंटू 10.10 का इस्तेमाल कर रही हूँ। अब जो आप देख रहे हैं वह उबंटू डेस्कटॉप है।
So this is just kind of something which I wanted you to actually get a feel of. That spoken tutorials, these are available to the students for free of cost, again free of cost, and entire team of IIT Bombay is a dedicated team of IIT Bombay is working on these spoken tutorials, and they are getting a really good response. Then FOSSI, which I was discussing, free and open source software in education. And this, what they are doing is they are actually, first of all, they are creating the low cost, affordable laptops. Low cost, affordable laptops, which will contain entire open source softwares. Not the paid ones. They will definitely not use your, what we call it as your Windows. They will be using your Linux. Why Linux? Because that is a open source. And they want to promote the use of free and open source softwares to improve the quality of education in our country. FOSS team is involved in the development and the customization of open source tools as well. कुछ tools हैं जो already इन्होंने बनाए हैं और कुछ tools ऐसे हैं जिनको इन्होंने open source से उनको customize अपने according किया हुआ. So these are the few, in case if you want to have a look at the website, I'll just show it to you. But let's discuss about all the. These are just the few projects which have been completed or successfully accomplished by the FOSS team. eSIM, this is a tool which is used for designing of the circuits. You can simulate a PCB and design a PCB here. This is an alternative to your ORCAD. ORCAD is again a paid software, but this eSIM is a open source tool. OSDAG, this is a tool for again a very good tool which is used for designing the structures of a steel, and you can have the 3D visualization as well. Because the time is short, otherwise I would have shown you the that how you can use all these things. And again, the low cost affordable laptops which we have been discussing, right? Open PLC, as you all know, that programmable logic controllers really costly. Unka setup lagana is not easy. But again, they have come up with the open source PLCs. If anyone of you is familiar from the electronics background, they might have certain knowledge of the PLC. Kya rungs rehti hain, kya hota hai usme. And then single board heater system. This is useful in teaching and learning of the control systems. Linear control system kuch electronics mein hota hai. Again, a very difficult and very difficult subject it was actually, believe me. I know how cleared my LCS. You too? Okay. So, though I was able to get the good grades in that, but it was a really, absolutely, it was really kind of phobia for me to clear the, the LCS exam. So, in case if you want to have a look at it here. This is the website. Something's really wrong with the internet connection today. And there you go. First of all, the main task is they want to migrate their labs from Windows to the Linux. And you'll be surprised to know that, that we people still don't know Linux, in majority part of the country, we are not familiar with the Linux. It's an open source operating system. we people are more into teaching of the Windows. बचपन से हम स्टूडेंट्स को अपने विंडोज सिखाते हैं, एटलीस्ट हमने तो वही सीखा था. And then these are the projects in Scilab, Python, eSIM. I think I have already discussed. I took few examples from this website. Then we have your A-View. Have you ever heard about A-View? This is Amrita Virtual Interactive E-Learning World, developed by the Amrita University. This program is being led by the IIT Bombay, and this is funded by the NME ICT, MHRD. This is kind of video conferencing tool actually. This is a video conferencing tool. जितने भी हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर्स की जो हमारी ऑफिशियल मीटिंग्स रहती हैं, they all take place into the through A-View. As of now, we are using Google Hangouts. In Google Hangouts, we have the limitation that we can only connect up to maximum up to 15 centers, right? Not more than that, right, Deepika? 20. 9 centers, right? 9, let's say around 20 centers with the help of Google Hangouts, we can connect. But with help of A-View, we can connect around 200 to 500 centers in one go. And that too at a very low bandwidth. At NITA Chandigarh and Department of Computer Science and Engineering, we've been conducting now programs only through the A-View. Though we have the different, paid tools as well, we have procured a tool called as PeopleLink. That is again a video conferencing software. The limitation is that I need to procure with only one license is available for 1 lakh rupees. So in case if I want to connect 100 centers, 100 lakh rupees, 1 crore, too costly. But with help of A-View, you can connect 100 centers for free of cost. And even more than that, you don't require any licenses. You just need to contact the Amrita University and you should say that we want to organize a program. Contact them, they will create the certain users for you. And then you can distribute the user to the different remote centers who you want to connect with you during the presentation. And they all will be connected. And it works at a really less bandwidth. At Google Hangouts, what is the minimum requirement, Deepika, here for 1 Mbps चाहिए, right? चाहिए. But उसमें, if it is even less than 1 Mbps, it will work like a charm. That's A-View. And come my favorite, right? The case of Kerala state. The Kerala was the first state in the country to introduce information technology as a subject. That was way back. आज की बात नहीं कर रहे, बहुत पुरानी बात कर रहे. It was way back when Kerala government introduced the subject information technology as a subject for at the school level, high school level. Class 8 से उनको Microsoft Windows पढ़ाना शुरू कर देते थे. But just after one year, government again intervened and said, look, we don't want to use the Microsoft Windows because that is not a open source. अगर आपको किसी को विंडोज सिखाना है, एक विंडोज प्रोफेशनल का की कितने का मिलता है? अराउंड 7,000 to 8,000 रुपीज, राइट? प्रोफेशनल लेना है तो अराउंड 20,000. So let's say around, if I have 100 PCs in my lab, so what would be the cost? 20,000 for one PC. So that's not an affordable solution. And in the government schools, you cannot even afford to, you cannot even think कि हर एक PC में आपको 20,000 rupees का सिर्फ Windows डाल सकते हैं. So at that time, those people, the government of Kerala introduced the usage of free and open source tools. And as of now, जो Linux हमारे यहाँ पे BTech pass outs को भी नहीं आता है, उनके वहाँ class 8 student को सिखाया जाता है. Nowadays, only Linux is taught in the schools, and all the computers in the school have installed Linux as a operating system. No Windows, only Linux. Few days back, one of a student came to me. She is pursuing her master's right now. I told her to work with the Linux, and she was ऐसे सरप्राइज हो गई जैसे कभी कुछ सुना ही नहीं. सर मुझे तो लिनक्स आता ही नहीं. And then we talk about the security. Thesis किस में करना है? Security में करना है. Thesis security में करना है. Linux आती नहीं है. Security क्या करोगे? In Kerala, from class 8th, they are teaching Linux. And this initiative by the Kerala government is now influencing the other governments, as well as the government of Karnataka and Gujarat are now planning to introduce free software in their schools, and some other states like Maharashtra, and they are examining the option. करना चाहिए, कर लांगे, है ना, देख लेते हैं, वो वाला सीन. But उन लोगों ने करके दिखाया. That's why Kerala is, they are having 100% literacy rate. कितना सा केरला और कितना बड़ा महाराष्ट्र? सॉरी, अच्छा, तो जेंडर वाइज नहीं होंगे यहाँ पे, है ना, इन पंजाब वैसे भी. And then if we particularly talk about some international organizations who are working in this domain, are Coursera तो बहुत पुराना हो चुका है अभी. They are also in the MOOCs platform only. Coursera.org is the website. You can join this Coursera for free of cost, and once you have joined this, let's say this machine learning course is being offered by the University of Washington. You complete this course, you give the online exam, you will be getting a certificate from the University of Washington.
One training is free, one is paid. That will be EDX?
Yes, I think. EDX, sir has discussed, that is again an initiative by the University of MIT. edx.org. Massachusetts Institute of Technology. इन्हीं का initiative है, and they are also they have made a group of the organizations, right?
Which field you are in?
Management के भी कई courses रहेंगे यहाँ पे. Supply chain management, have a look at it here.
There are two ways. One is you attend and you do not apply for certification. It is free of cost. If you apply for a certificate, then there is certain fee.
Very nominal fee. Let's say supply chain management.
And students can get free of cost learning.
सीख लेते हैं ना, फ्री में क्या है, मिल तो रहा है. So these all are the from the point of view of the from the international certifications, kind of the international certification which you people will be getting. कुछ सर्टिफिकेट वहां से बन के नहीं आएगा, सब ऑनलाइन ही आएगा आपका. किसी को आपके credentials चेक करने हैं, ऑनलाइन चेक कर सकते हैं that yes, that particular XYZ person has actually appeared for this course. And for the computer science graduates, right, I want to introduce a very popular website called as HackerRank. Though these people, this is the #1 website used in USA. What these guys are doing, they are offering certain, kind of, the pro kind of, hackathons. That what you want to do is, in case you have the desired knowledge, right, you have the appropriate knowledge, go here, you will be given a certain rank. Once you will log in for a particular program, you will be given a rank. Once you are at you get a very good rank, right? Let's say you are among the top 10 students. The companies will directly approach you. The companies will approach you. They are not into the teaching. They only for the, let's say they are conducting the quizzes. And once you have a good rank in those quizzes, the companies will directly hire you. Because your credentials will be there. Can you see this is for the companies as well? So companies in US keeps on checking all the who is among the top rankers. In case if you are among the top ranker, they'll hire you from your university itself. They'll not even take the interviews. So as part of these are the few initiatives taken up by the government of India. First of all, as a teachers, we should start using the open source. So there is a huge difference between free and open source. कोई चीज फ्री में मिल रही है वो तुम छोड़ते नहीं ना वैसे भी. फ्री को छोड़ना है बट ओपन सोर्स को अपनाना है. So this was about your EDX. We have already discussed. Founded by the Harvard University and the MIT in year 2012. Again, EDX is an online learning destination and MOOC provider. MOOC basically stands for Massive Open Online Courses, offering high quality courses from the world's best universities and institutions to the learners everywhere across the globe. And website is already given. So any doubts in this?